My mother's birthday is coming up, and I thought I would celebrate her special day by continuing to not speak to her. It's the gift that keeps on giving. That should give you a clue about the relationship I have with my mother. But trust me, it goes way deeper than that. I've had people say to me, "But she's your mother. You should just let it go." What they don't realize are all the times I did let it go. And when I finally took inventory of all those moments, it became this huge, steamy pile of shitty incidents that I should have dealt with long ago, but I was way too much of a peacekeeper. Before we go any further, I wanted to give you a heads up that this video touches on emotional abuse and alcohol addiction. And if that's not something you're in a place to hear right now, please feel free to click away. It's okay. And if you're new here, welcome. I'm Angie. In this channel, I share life experiences that involve family dynamics, career pivots, and personal struggles. We talk about mucking through life's messy moments and how to stay resilient and own our truth, because we all have a story to share, and our story is what empowers us to share our knowledge in a way that enlightens others. I always found reasons to excuse her behavior, believe her exaggerated delusions, or kowtow to her accusations and gaslighting if I dare objected to her. I have a younger sister who has also dealt with this treatment, and because we share our early life together, we are bonded. But I'm not going to talk about my sister's experiences because her story is not mine to tell. This is my story and the way I remember it. The way I recall my childhood and even into adulthood is like a piece of Swiss cheese. I have memory holes throughout this time that I can't recall. I suspect this was done on purpose as a form of self-preservation to save me from remembering things that were just too much at the time, but I remember enough to fill a memoir, a sequel, and maybe a lifetime miniseries. It reminds me of a famous saying by Maya Angelou. People may forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. I don't recall the words that were said to me, and I blacked out entire incidents. But the emotions, the way I felt, that stays with me. It's tucked away, waiting for some trigger to expose it again. In all fairness, I did have good childhood moments. I had friends and enjoyed school and sports. I did the things kids do. So I guess if I had to grade my childhood on a scale from excellent to poor, it would classify as fair, but it could have been a lot better. I dealt with a lot of childhood trauma that I didn't need to, and that affected me for a very long time. About the time I was 9 or 10, my parents stopped getting along. They were fighting a lot. I didn't realize I was living in chaos because that's all I knew. I thought it was normal for moms and dads to yell and fight all the time. I got used to the heaviness. My dad was basically a stranger to us. He was a state police officer and he worked these strange hours all night long. Then he would sleep all day. So I just don't have the memories of spending any time with him as a kid. We really didn't talk. And later on, I found out he was having an affair, or should I say, affairs, throughout their marriage. Then my parents divorced when I was 13, which I remember being a huge relief to me. But for reasons we didn't understand at the time, my mom moved away, and my sister and I had to go live with our stranger of a dad and his new wife and her daughter. It was awkward because my dad had no idea how to talk to me. My new stepmom wanted nothing to do with me. And on top of all that, I was 13 years old. I needed my mom, and she wasn't around, except for every other weekend we would stay with her in her tiny apartment. It was a stressful situation. She seemed to always be distracted with other things. So I never really got the nurturing I needed at that very vulnerable time of my life. Back home, my dad really didn't care what I did. And looking back, I'm really surprised I didn't end up in juvie. During my entire high school years, I had lots of boyfriends. Any boyfriend would do. If I wasn't with them, I was doing a band or choir event or playing in some sport. Anything to help keep me out of that house because I could not stand it there. But I digress. The story of living with my dad is a whole nother video. And trust me, it's a good one. But this one is about my mother. From abandoning my sister and me to live with our emotional potato of a father and his vile wife, to micromanaging every decision I ever tried to make for myself, to gaslighting me with her own fictional versions of our childhood, so much so that I blocked out huge parts of it, right down to all the times I just desperately needed her to watch the kids for a couple hours so I could run errands or regain my sanity from being married to a controlling husband. And she would flat out refuse. It always had to be on her terms. It was always about her. And now it's been 7 months since I've seen her, which was on Mother's Day. I remember the day well. My sister, who now lives a few states over, was back for a couple days. So we decided to meet up at Mom's. I thought it would be nice for us all to spend some time together. I was wrong. Looking back, we would have been better off chugging Ritas and sharing good gossip at the local hacienda. I could tell right away the vibe was low. My sister clearly didn't want to be there, but she wanted to see me. 10 minutes into the visit, Mom was already well into her vodka, and she laid into us. "This house is your inheritance," she slurred. She went on to drone about her favorite subject we've heard ad nauseum, this time too loudly. "When I die, I need both you girls to step up and make sure everything's handled the way I have it in the will. I don't want to be listed in the obits right away. You make sure they don't publish my name until everything's settled. I don't want Daryl's kids sniffing around. Angie, hey squirrel, focus." I was talking to my husband. "I need you to pay attention to what I am saying. You are my medical power of attorney to make sure they don't resuscitate me. I have a DNR on that will. Do you understand, squirrel?" So for a little bit of context, our stepdad, Daryl, died 11 years ago. Daryl was the most awesome person. He was so chill, and he loved meeting new people. He was the type of guy who was genuinely interested in what you had to say. He and I would sit and chat for hours. We both shared artistic passion, and he had real talent. He was known to do what we call picket fencing, stand outside and chat with the neighbors for hours. Everyone liked Daryl. I miss him terribly. He was the bonus dad we always deserved. One time years ago, I was closing on a new home and I was $300 short. I asked my mom if she could front me for a week and I would pay her right back. Without hesitation, she said no. No reason, just no. Daryl overheard the conversation and walked into the room with checkbook in hand. "Here you go. Congratulations on your new home." I almost cried. Mom said nothing. Whenever we would host a holiday, Mom and Daryl would show up and stay for 20 minutes, tops. Then she would make some excuse and they would leave. Every time. I knew she was already lit when she arrived because she could never socialize sober. 20 minutes. Just enough time to say her hellos, hand out gifts to the kids, and flaunt her fake party ego before the vodka wore off. She never stuck around for dinner. And I really felt sorry for Daryl because I could tell he wanted to stay. Honestly, I don't know how she managed to manipulate him into thinking he needed her for 30 years. He worked his tail off so she could go thrifting and auctioning. I knew living with her wasn't easy for him either. They argued a lot. She liked to control him. I remember a couple incidences when he called me late at night to tell me mom had locked him out of the house. And knowing him, I think it was much more than he let on. For him to actually call me about something like that, I know it took a lot. And I always felt there was more to the story he didn't or just couldn't share. Over the years, he drank more. They both did. And then one day, out of the blue, he became really sick and had to go to the hospital. They diagnosed him on the spot with stage 4 metastatic lung cancer, and he quietly passed away 9 days later. That was 11 years ago. Funny thing is, he had never let on that he didn't feel well. Makes you wonder why. After he died, mom was an emotional wreck. I truly felt sorry for her. I wanted to help ease her pain. That's what a good daughter does, right? She would literally call me and my sister 5 times a day crying. We would listen and console. She made all these promises that we would go on day trips together, just the three of us. We would all hang out and shop and have so much fun. Never happened because all she wanted to do for years was die. She still does. She's obsessed with it. Mom got super skinny like a rail and now pretty much lives on cigarettes, vodka, and coffee. She's depressed and bitter at the world. She stopped driving after getting pulled over without a valid driver's license, and now she never leaves her home. She has some guy named Almanzo buy her vodka and cigarettes and order groceries. She has no computer or smartphone. She just drinks and watches TV all day. So back to the Mother's Day blowout. After her performance, we all made excuses to leave early, and it was then I knew I was done because what she actually did that day was bring back some long, blacked out childhood memories of how she treated me as a kid, berating me like I was 9 years old again. All those old feelings of shame, powerlessness, invalidation came rushing back. She didn't care about my feelings or my sister's, and I finally realized, although she pretends to, she really doesn't give a shit about anyone but herself. Until that moment, I was helping her whenever I could because it just felt nice to finally be needed by her. It felt like she was finally valuing me. But now I know I was just being used. It took me years of unhealthy choices and a divorce to work through all of my childhood muck. Trauma like that teaches you how to assume various coping mechanisms to numb the pain when deep inside you're still raw and unhealed. And although I've come a long way, pieces of that trauma still remain, coming out through triggers or words or random memories that pop up. But now I know how to handle them. And if I have to remove myself from a situation, even if it's cutting off family, it's okay. I don't feel guilt. To be honest, I don't feel anything at all. 7 months later, and I still have no desire to talk to her. No contact doesn't erase her. I'm constantly reminded of her when I look in the mirror. Sometimes when I speak, she comes out of my mouth. I may have inherited her genes, but I'm not her. I've worked very hard over the years to not be the mom she was to us. My grown daughter told me the other day how she's so lucky I'm her mama, and that just brought me tears of joy. I broke the cycle. My sister broke the cycle with her own kids. Even with everything I said here, there will still be people out there saying, but she's your mom. And they'll think I'm a bad person. And let me just say, I had that mindset for years too. I made excuses for all of her actions toward me, toward my kids. I would dismiss all the disrespect and the vitriol as sassiness, or she's not feeling well, or oh, lol, that's just mom. You know how she is. You didn't feel like showing up to my wedding? That's okay. No, it's not okay. I've had enough of her shit. She's shown her ass to me for the very last time. And I won't apologize for walking away. Just know that this story only scratches the surface of all the stuff I had to deal with. The lesson I learned is this: if someone shows you time and time again who they are, believe them. DNA does not entitle someone to your loyalty. Don't feel bad about cutting ties from a family member. You're not obligated to keep anyone in your life who harms you physically or emotionally. Relationships should be reciprocal, nourishing, and safe. If a relationship consistently drains, damages, or diminishes you, ending it is not only justified, it is necessary. Remember, setting boundaries, even with family, is an act of self-respect. Your life is not a container for someone else's toxicity. It is yours to live with peace, dignity, and love. Sometimes I sit and wonder if she's sorry, really sorry. Nah, I doubt it. In her mind, she's the victim and I'm the ungrateful daughter. You can't fix a relationship with someone who doesn't see their own mistakes. That's something I wish I knew decades ago, because sometimes healing means accepting the apology you'll never get. As for me, I'm doing just fine. I have a supportive husband, 2 loving kids living their best life, and a few sassy pets to spoil. And for the moment, life is peaceful.